everybody, and welcome to another edition of Poland Daily Travel. We are on the road, headed west. Go west, young man, with Poland Daily Travel. We haven't been to the west yet on Poland Daily Travel, but we're making up for that with this road trip from Warsaw. We've been to Łowicz, and we had to stop on our way to Kutno and to see some baseball. And briefly, I'll tell you, built in 1927, the first entirely welded bridge in the world, built by Stan Brylas, that's right, to go over this tiny river here. There was a partially welded bridge which was built in Pennsylvania by the Westinghouse Electric Company about a few months earlier in 1927. So another example of the interwar period in Poland where so many incredible things were built, like the whole harbor at Gdynia, for example. So that's it, your first welded bridge. It's got two ways. It's not used anymore, of course. The road passes by, the main road passes by it now, but it's still here. And it had two lanes for passing traffic and two lanes for pedestrian traffic. Anyway, it's called the Morzyce Bridge, and the village of Morzyce is close by. Anyway, we're not going to stop there. We're moving on to Kutno. So the next thing you see will be Kutno and the baseball fields there. And I'll tell you a story about a famous Polish baseball player. So stay tuned for that. See you in a little while. Hello everybody, I'm Will Richardson, and welcome to another edition of Poland Daily Travel. In the next few episodes, we are heading west for the first time on Poland Daily Travel. Łowicz, where Napoleon stayed. Kutno, where they have the Little League baseball center for Europe. Mężczyzna, with its ancient castle. Yes, it's another Poland Daily road trip, and we'll be ending up in Gniezno. Gniezno, of course, is the first Polish capital where the first 5 kings of Poland were crowned. That's the Piast dynasty. We'll tell you the story of the founding of Poland. That's the legendary story in Gniezno. And we'll look at the Roundhouse Train Museum and very, very interesting little museum of technologically. That's of obsolete technology from days gone by. So stay tuned for more of Poland Daily Travel. This is Poland's most comprehensive travel program. We show you stuff that no one else will show you in our own, well, let's say, Poland Daily way. Hey, I'm Will Richardson. Thank you very much for watching. I promised you baseball, and here it is. This is one of the fields here at Kutno, at the European Little League Center. It was built, you remember that film actually, a Kevin Costner film, Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. Well, that inspired this complex here with 3 fields, including the Edward J. Pishik Stadium. 3 fields. They were finished in the 1990s, and in fact, I have to tell you a story now of one of the inspirations for doing this. I mean, there's a story, I'll start with the first story, that there was a Cuban here in the 1980s who was teaching or something, and he was a baseball fan, and he started teaching the kids of Kutno how to play baseball. But since Cuba is communist, no, they have a lot of great baseball players, but since I don't like that story as much as the story I'm going to tell you, which is I believe it was inspired more by Stan Musial. Who was Stan Musial? Stan the Man Musial. Stanislav Franciszek Musial. Well, he's one of the 10 greatest baseball players in the history of the United States. He played for the St. Louis Cardinals. He was one of the most extraordinary hitters of all time in baseball. And he actually came here when this field, he was still alive in the 1990s, and he came here, I suppose gave his blessing or gave his fame to the idea of having Little League baseball in in Poland. And this is a center where they have tournaments from all over Europe happen right here, and teams go on to the Little League World Series in the United States, in Pennsylvania, from these championships here in Kutno. So it's a little known thing. Baseball is a very real thing, at least with the citizens of Kutno, and also various cities around Europe. And Stan the Man Musial and a Cuban baseball lover are largely responsible for this, not to mention Kevin Costner and the Field of Dreams movie. If you haven't seen it, the famous line is, "If you build it, they will come." And that's what they did here, because this used to be fields of wheat right on the edge of Kutno, and somebody had a dream, and the dream was to bring baseball to this part of the world. And so they did. And now you have these 3 or 4 fields here on the outside, and even a McDonald's nearby, so to complete the whole picture, because you can't have baseball without fast food, right? Okay, so here we are. This is the Field of Dreams here in Kutno. I'm Will Richardson. This is Poland Daily Travel. I want to thank you for watching. Stay with us. We're on a road trip, and we're headed west.